What's it like for you to come back here and have one of your former teammates be the head coach?
Oh, man, I'm so proud of him. You know, I remember Coach Odom. I call him Barry, but we used to go to two-a-days together. You leave Laws Hall in the morning. I had this big green Ford LTD that we had to warm up at least 30 minutes before we left for two-a-days in winter camp. And he and Jeff Marriott would ride together, and we'd come over here to practice. So we talk about those days quite a bit. So it's kind of awesome to see someone that I played with, and he was a great player when he was here as well, to be the head coach now.
How do you former players feel maybe that first week when you saw him run out? I mean, I know there was a lot of press and attention to it, but to see old number 39 there with the ball cap on, the whistle with the Sharpie hanging off that first game, that must have been surreal.
Oh, it was. And you know, yesterday I was talking with him over at the facilities, and it was still hard for me to wrap my mind around it, you know, because I see him as Barry Odom, the player, and I know that he'll instill the same toughness that he had as a player into the players that he's coaching today.
Those teams that you were on, coached by Larry Smith, led by you and Corby among others, what did you feel like those teams you played on were known for?
We were physical. Physical team, we were tough. But that was something that Coach Smith instilled in us, that the guy across from you shouldn't beat you on any given play. And that's the attitude that I'm sure Barry Odom's going to bring to the team that he's coaching. Toughness, and I know that's part of his theme, toughness wins. He's absolutely correct. And once those guys grab a hold of the concept of being mentally tough, not just physically, but mentally tough, I think Mizzou's going to go a long way under Coach Odom.
A game from your era that always sticks out in my mind is that '97 game in Colorado when you hit 6 wins. Mm-hmm. And that was a game that wasn't on TV. And I can remember waking up the next morning and going, I have to see this. What was that like for you guys as the players to have that breakthrough moment in Boulder?
That was an awesome game. I remember Brock Olivo was the starting tail back then. We had Ron James and also Ernest Blackwell. Man, that was an awesome game. That was one of those games that we didn't know we were going to win. We were hoping to win. But you could see the team and you can feel it in the locker room. You know, a lot of people don't get a chance to see what happens in the locker room. But after that game, it was something I can't really describe. The team was all together. We were all singing the fight song together. I'll never forget that. And that was it for us. That's what taught us that we could do what we wanted to do. We could win, we could get to a bowl game, and we could be successful so long as we kept doing the things that got us to that point. It was extremely tough, but once you start to win and you start to see that things work the way that he asked you to, then you believe. And then once you believe, then anything can happen for you.
Kansas game 1998, sometimes it all just comes together, huh?
And the night before the game, the coach Coach Smith had all the seniors stand up. You know, I remember saying to them, I'm going to do whatever I can to win the game. You think about these things, and you don't think in your mind, oh, I'm going to break the record, I'm going to rush for this many yards. I'm just thinking, I'm going to do everything I can.
Our single game rushing leader at Missouri is the senior from Moberly.
People see and they're thinking, oh, Devin did great, but in reality, it was a team effort. And they gave me the ball and the holes were there. It was one of the most fun games I think I've ever had a part of. It's something that I'll always remember. As a matter of fact, my license plate says KU sucks. That's because I will always remember that as one of the games that, you know, will go down in Missouri history.
Did you think this was going to be your college experience, or did it kind of come out of nowhere for you?
It came out of nowhere. I mean, I went to high school in Moberly. I grew up in Kansas City, Missouri. I went to high school in Moberly, and our teams in Moberly weren't the greatest, but we had some coaches that saw some talent, and they proceeded to try to hand me the ball when they could, which was awesome.
How did Larry find you?
I don't know. We had an assistant coach, Skip Hall was his name. He was the first person that I had a chance to meet from Mizzou. And then one day, out of the blue, we were sitting eating dinner, and we get a knock on the door, and it's Larry Smith. I'd seen him on TV, but I'd never met him in person. And he had these huge, these hands were so big, and they curved over like this. If you ever saw him clap, he would clap like this because his hands were so monstrous. Anyway, so I shook his hand, and he like engulfed my hand, and he said, I'm Larry Smith, and we want you to come down and play for us. And Coach Smith said, you're going to play. He said, we have Corby Jones down here, and we're going to put you guys together. You're going to room together your freshman year. I mean, he had it all planned out. You know, you guys are going to room together your freshman year, but we want you two to take us to the next level. And I believed him. And he told us, he told me what the phrase was on the wall. If you come down and you play with us, I promise you, before you leave, you'll be a champion. And he was absolutely correct.
2 kids from Missouri. How important is that? And is that maybe part of what is so endearing to Mizzou fans over the years of those teams that you and Corby, Kent Lehman, Rob Reedy, Justin, I mean, all down the list, yeah.
When you're born and raised in Missouri and all you know is Mizzou, and for those kids that play football when they're young and grow up, to want to play at Mizzou, it's just a dream come true. So I don't think I've ever taken it for granted that I've been here and that I've played here and had the opportunity to play here, because I know there are a ton of individuals that would love to be in the same shoes that I was in. So it was coming from Missouri, playing at Mizzou. It's probably one of the best things I think I've done in my life.